Okay, another backpack sprayer conversion. This time, this is from Home Depot. It's branded as a Roundup one, and it has this pump mechanism. So, first step is going to be to remove this retaining ring and removing the bolts that hold the plunger assembly onto the rod that's activated when you pump it. So, I'm going to take those out. They are hex head bolts, so I'm going to pull those out and get that piston assembly out of the way, and then undo this, and then there's a pressure cartridge inside, and we'll pull that whole assembly out and take a look at that. Okay, with all 4 of those bolts removed, this assembly is now loose, and then there's the nut and bolt that goes through here, and the nuts held captive on the other side, so remove that, and then these pieces will come out. I'll pull those out and show you what that looks like. So that's that assembly removed. That's what activates the plunger. Now we should be able to pull the plunger out. Yeah, here it comes. Okay, so that's the piston that creates the pressure. So we got that out of the way. Next up is to remove this clamp, and we should be able to get this whole pressure tank assembly out. So that's that retaining collar removed, and now if I can do this one-handed, yeah. The whole pressure tank assembly comes out. If you hear noise in the background, it's my cat. So the question is going to be, now I already experimented with this, and the output for the hose fitting does not gravity feed. So you fill the tank with water and take the hose off this, nothing drips out. I put a piece of hose on it and sucked on it, it would not. So there's something inside here, some kind of a diaphragm or something, that's stopping anything from coming out of this, other than when this tank is pressurized by using the piston. So the trick's going to be to look inside of this and figure out what's going on internally, and the only way to do that is to hacksaw it open. So I got permission from my buddy to do that. He said, "How adventurous are you feeling?" And I said, "Well, let's give it a whirl." It's a $60 backpack at the end of the day, so let's figure out if we can get this open so we can defeat whatever's inside of here, and make this work. So I hacksawed it off, and the reason it won't gravity feed is that's the input, and then it goes inside of the pump mechanism, and there's got to be something going on internally that requires pressure to release it. However, there's the discharge right here. So knowing now what I know, if you drilled a hole through the outside of this, then it would allow the chemical to go into that and just fall through here. But seeing as I've got this all taken apart, I'm going to just have a look and see what exactly goes on with this pump assembly, because I don't get how it works. So I'll be honest with you. So there's a rubber diaphragm gasket that sits on here, and another one that goes down there, so there must be some kind of dual gasket action that makes that work. I have no idea. I have no comprehension of how this thing works. But in any case, if I was going to start over all I would do is find your hose outlet and just drill a hole right above it. So yeah, it's an interesting dilemma. I think I'm going to put the gaskets back on and then cut the side of this down, or put a hole in it and see if that works. Oh, okay, well, let's give that a go. Okay, so that's it. Drilled the hole and then notched it for the discharge, and then cut the rest of the top plastic ring off just to make that a little cleaner. And then I cut the bottom piece off there too, and I'll work on making that look a little prettier. And then I'm going to take both of those gaskets out and fill up the inside of that with some epoxy, and inside there, those two chambers, I'm going to fill that up with epoxy too, so then when this is back inserted, the only way that the chemical has to exit the tank will be through this notch and out the hole down the hose, and we will have eliminated all of this stuff hanging down here. That'll all be gone. This rod, I'll get rid of that too, and then we'll go ahead and get the base plate. That's coming from eBay, and then same as the other one, we'll put the electronics box here, battery, pump, and yeah, it should work just like the other one. Okay, so all done, much the same as the other one that I made. Main difference is I used a Wago connector to connect the pump to the wiring, because again, anticipating the pump going to need to be swapped out. This is what the inside looks like. You can see we've cut that tank completely apart, and I know we talked about how you could have just drilled a hole in this right above the hose fitting, but as I was thinking about it, the problem you're going to have with that is you half fill this tank with clean water, and then you put your chemical in, right, and then you fill it up the rest of the way. If you have a hole in this, then it's going to fill up with just fresh clean water, and so the first, I don't know, quart, half gallon, whatever this capacity of this cylinder is, would just be water coming out. So I think the only way to successfully accomplish this conversion on this particular design is to go ahead and cut that whole top piece off, and then I ended up that red little seal, there's one there held in with a screw, and there's one on the underside held in with a screw, and then the old input where that square is, that's the old input where the chemical would go into the pressure pump assembly. So I took the two screws out, took the two red gaskets off, and I ended up actually filling that completely up with clear 100% silicone, and then screwing it back together again. So all of the chemical comes out of that little 3/8 hole down there on the side, and it works great, and it completely evacuates the tank. I mean, there's hardly a drop of water left when the pump finishes running. The other difference is, this is my buddy's sprayer, and he has the red tip in his, and that's a smaller, finer mist spray tip. Yeah. Thanks for the motorcycle. And that means it's putting out 32 ounces of water in 30 seconds. So that's a minute for half a gallon and 2 full minutes for 1 gallon using that red tip. So anyway, it is possible, and it works like a champ. Thanks for watching.